under the sound of your voice. And after the moment was gone, they were still moved. Do you recall the time I told you the melody of your words killed the rage in my heart at that moment? Do you remember that person? Damaged in spirit, and how they said, Lyric, I thank you so much for your words. I now have hope renewed. I see the clarity in a portion of your purpose. I believe the rest will be revealed at the appointed time. Please hear me when I say to you, don't try to write anymore. Don't try to sing anymore. Just let go and allow the Spirit God has given you to flow out. Your words will write themselves. Your songs will ease a troubled mind.
I've struggled so long, but now I know I gotta hold on. Thanks, Tom.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
With my right hand to God and the other on the Bible, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Your Honor, I'm here before the court to represent myself in this matter as my own counsel. It's Jamie Bond versus the United States of America. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a pile of evidence and stacks of exhibits and documentation. I'm bringing charges of conspiring and attempted manslaughter against them because the government is trying to kill me. And I got witnesses, Your Honor, with notarized and recorded statements of how they sent their special ops for me and hired an assassinator. Here you go. Here's a copy of my basic needs and my lease. Here's a statement of my income and a copy of my outcome. And as you can clearly see, the government has me codependent and loves to see me live below my means. I mean, come on, Your Honor. The government is taking me through the mud. They got me living to exist and they hope to have me be extinct. Statistically, they're being the cost of living bullies. Now, I plead to the jury of my peers, but hold up. Y'all ain't even a jury of my peers. Y'all don't know about my struggles, but let me make it clear. They've taken everything from me and my family this past year, and the only thing they haven't done is repossess my fears and tears. Here's my syllabus. They're trying to abort a grown-ass adult. They placed an unwarranted restraining order against me, blatantly going against the United States Declaration of Independence. I'm just trying to acquire the same as everyone else, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So now you tell me, why wouldn't this be seen as repeated attempts to assassinate me personally? I mean, how much more do I have to lose and how much more basic do I need to get when I'm already overwhelmed with bills, stressed out and vexed? I'm struggling for my right to life and they're trying to expeditiously expedite my right to die. Are you even serious? The United States government is the Cosa Nostra, the head of all organized crime. I'm charging them with various counts of drug charges with the pharmaceutical companies. They're red-handed guilty to money laundering. I'm like, oh, please just stop it. The government has deeper activities than some of these mobsters, from racketeering, counterfeiting, drug trafficking, murder, and conspiracy. The list goes on, and let's not forget about labor racketeering. Look at the evidence with just Occupy Wall Street. These big banks have a long rap sheet for criminal activities, from loan sharking, robbery, extortion, and illegal gambling. I asked the court to look at the proof presented and prove me wrong. Now, The prosecutor will have you believe that I'm whining and complaining, but for the record, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's not the case. They've stolen a good night's sleep from me and Hope on more than one occasion. It ain't all good in the hood, and it's far from a good look. They went from that fable of Robin Hood to outright robbing the hoods. We're supposed to be a united front, and they stay fronting on a sister. Who's judging the judge's decision and governing the government and policing the police divisions? If I die tomorrow, don't call this a suicide letter. Call it a crying shame. Call it homicide. Call it genocide. Call it financial cyanide. I'm being poisoned, slowly dying. Call it anything but the cost of living. I rest my case.
So yeah, girl, I was at home the other night and guess who called? So I answer the phone. I'm like, what you calling me for? He's like, baby, I love you. I miss you. I need you. Things ain't the same since you've been gone. I just need you to come back home. Girl, no. I'm going to tell you what I told him. Love and violence seem to go hand in hand. It seems that you and I are not meant to be. Because I am only a woman with these very strong wants and needs. The most important being honesty, and your ass can't give it to me. Pardon me for not slurping down the lies that you busted in me like a machine gun. You called me hun and I was your baby. But then I found out that I was missing the title of lady. Not because you told me either, but because your boy had an agenda. Thinking that if I was okay with being your other woman, that I could be his sideline too. But then the plan went awry and I didn't take the bait. He decided then that I needed to know where you were when you didn't come home until late. Where your head rested when you was out with your boys, and why I never met your dad, your mom, or your little boy. It's amazing to me how you can stand in front of me begging me not to leave, when behind my back it's so easy to disrespect me. For some reason though, when I began to question your moves lately, you bust into dramatics and start calling me crazy. And now I'm the chick that everyone thinks is nuts because I won't deal and cannot deal with a man that doesn't know what he wants. I swear, I'm not a violent chick, and normally I wouldn't hurt a fly, especially the man that I love. But I need you to open up your eyes. My heart is not to be played with, and if you don't understand that, that's cool, but please know I keep a 45 under my bed, and it's only for you. I rebuke you and all the drama, the late nights, the phone calls, the trips to the store that take hours or more, the condoms you holding for your boys, the coming home from a late night at work smelling like soap, the hair that's not mine that lingers on your collar, and the dollars that used to come home that seem to have dwindled along with your sex drive. And the foreplay, man, the foreplay is just gone. I made my complaints clear one too many times, and it seems that you are unwilling to find the part of your heart where I used to reside. So that is why your stuff is packed and outside. Please understand when I say the relationship is dead. And if you try to put your hands on me, I'm putting two through your head. It's dead.
It seems like decades since my pen dripped with life. Sitting in a moldy old trunk, ignored like grandma's old clothes covered in mothballs, cause one day they might fit again. My voice outgrew my pen, so shrinking beneath the weight of a destiny too big for life, I concealed it in the embers of yesterday. Trying to hide in what my quill has already birthed, I let my ink speak for me. The me that I was when I penned those pieces, leaving only the echo of the ghost of poetry past to imprint on my legacy. But in the silence of my voice, the metaphors became exhausted and telling the same old stories, and words began to beg for new life. New energy, a new season of parables and fables. The great dichotomy between theory and practice is that in theory my ballpoint would bleed all over pages like Niagara Falls, but in practice it stalled like the rains of the Sahara. I rested in the blatancy of my own gift, hoping that no one would see that in me poetry was dying, searching for something, someone to breathe existence back into me. And when that search left me hopeless and empty, I gave birth like a phoenix, building its nest with frankincense and myrrh to set ablaze the old as I emerged new. And it is in this that I became immortal. creating new life from among the cinders. So now you can call me Cinderella. So I rise up from the ashes a new being, one who has withstood the smoldering flames, and the very essence of my being is singed with its aroma to remind me where I came from. And as my heart is stripped, my ink bleeds and hardens like the tears of the boswellia trees. And these tears, unlike the ones my eyes cry, become the source of healing for everyone under the sound of my voice. These tears fill the room with a pleasant fragrance for all that stand near me. And despite the storm, it doesn't denigrate my purpose. See, I was born a poet. And just because my life is shaken by the roots flipped upside down and drowned under the trees doesn't change that fact. So packing my pen away beneath the insolence of my own arrogance was just the beginning of darkness for me. I had allowed the weight of the world to silence my pen and stifle my heart, and all that was left was the memory of who I used to be, lyrical toy and all-around queen. She was raptured by life just when no one was looking, and all that was left were the ashes. And like a Baptist preacher, it's my job to prepare those who may risk the rapture. But I'm not equating myself to Jesus, but this is the second coming. I was burned alive only to walk out better and more beautiful than I was before. I thought the life that spawned me was fire until I actually met fire and reached out to touch it only to get consumed by its flames. And as a result, I stopped speaking. My silence used to be remarkable evidence that I was speaking when no one could hear me, but I no longer suffer in silence. And now my silence is the evidence that I have been tested in the fire and have finally emerged up from the ashes.
Dear Adam, as fatigue kissed your eyelids, my soul awakened to write, etching this expression, expressing the magnitude of your impact in my life. Last night, I realized that we're like blended grains of sand in the same hourglass, pouring hour together into time that outlasts anything that ever looked like love in our past. As our souls scribe a love letter to the future. I'm the desire your heart knew before you knew you could become intimately acquainted with yourself. I'm that piece of you that exists outside of everything else. You whispered your soul to God, and He whispered back Michelle. He wrapped your mind in dreams and watched your chest swell. You asked for a companion that complimented you, and you owned it. You craved a friend to finish the half-written nights on open pages of days left lonely, with devoted fingertips tracing the indentations of the ribcage God removed from you and gave to me. I palpated the reason I breathe, knowing that when He breathed life into me, I was designed to be your Eve, formed to conceive your seeds, molded from earth to bear the prophecy of our legacy. Fertilize me with your dreams. I want to grow love in between the cracked walls of dilapidated realities, ramshackle remnants of reminiscent aspirations abandoned because of alternating actualities. I want to sit under shade trees and trade breezes that blow blustered clusters of sweet secrets infinitely. Dear Adam, I counted 53 new reasons to admire the details of God's artistry in the upward curvature of your smiling eyelashes, layered languidly, locked in serenity so peacefully. I admired the rise and fall of your broad shoulders, strong enough to straddle and wide enough to ride safely over astronomical obstacles and moments of personal vulnerability. You carried my fears when I am too afraid to be weak, swaying in the masculine hum of slumber that pervades from your partially open orifice when you sleep. Your subconscious sings your fantasies to me, and I wake up. Occasionally, I'm envious, because your pillow is somehow merged between us, locked in your embrace. Silently, I crave your touch, caged in moments of silence. Love speaking inside us. I love you more than life itself. I wish I could write you inside myself, Scribble your passion in my heart and pump your inspiration through my veins. Imbibe the flavor of forever in the same brain, drinking our like-mindedness in sips of thought patterns that prismatically display the light of our love in stained glass mosaics of summer rain fluidly. Dear Adam, I always wanted to say good morning.